What's the most inspiring leadership moment you witnessed? It happened during my last deployment, but the part that stuck with me wasn't about medals or battlefield courage. It was about a captain who chose humility when everyone expected pride. We were in Afghanistan, pulling 12-hour patrols in the heat, dust clinging to everything. Our platoon was exhausted, tempers were short. One afternoon, while loading up the trucks, a private, barely 19, messed up the comms check. Wrong channel, static blaring through the net. The lieutenant snapped at him, others rolled their eyes, and the kid's face went red. He muttered an apology, but you could tell he was shrinking inside his uniform. The kind of mistake that can brand you for months. That's when Captain Riley stepped in. He didn't yell. He didn't pile on. He sat down on the edge of the Humvee and said, "That was me my first year. Cost us an entire night op. We had to walk home." Everyone laughed. Tension broke. He looked at the private and added, "The difference is, I had a sergeant who pulled me aside and showed me how not to screw it up again. So let's do that now." And he did. Right there, under the sun, with all of us watching, the captain walked the kid through the procedure. Slowly. Patiently, like he had nothing better to do than invest 10 minutes in this private's confidence. The private nailed the next check. Static gone. Clear comms. His back straightened like someone had lifted a weight off his shoulders. What floored me wasn't just the fix. It was the way Riley turned what could have been humiliation into growth. He didn't protect his ego as the leader. He protected his soldiers' dignity. That day, I learned leadership isn't about being the loudest or the sharpest. It's about knowing when to step down off the pedestal and remind your people you've stumbled too. Later that night, as we sat around eating MREs, the private looked over and said quietly, "I won't forget that. Neither will I." I've seen leaders bark orders, demand perfection, and leave people too scared to learn. Riley was different. The next morning, the same private volunteered to run the comms test for the entire platoon. No hesitation. He crushed it, loud and clear, and Riley gave him a simple nod. Not a medal, not a speech, just a nod that said, "You're part of this team now." And the whole platoon noticed. Guys who usually kept to themselves clapped him on the back. That mistake that could have haunted him became the very thing that bonded us tighter. It taught me something I carry into civilian life. People rarely remember what you order them to do, but they'll never forget how you made them feel when they messed up. Riley's greatest act of leadership wasn't in a firefight or a briefing. It was in the quiet choice to turn failure into fuel.